Hello everyone, good evening, and welcome to Slipstream League Racing on this fine evening. And it's the Australian Grand Prix, the first race in Tier 1 of Season 15. Make sure you check out our social channels, hashtag SLR Australia, get it trending. And yeah, a very twisty and tricky circuit with a lot of nuances, especially with the curbs around this place. It's 3.2 miles long. There are 3 DRS zones after the latest one was added a few years back, and a newish layout too after it was revamped in 2022. As always, we've got the soft, the medium and the hard, and these drivers will be using the softs in the quali, of course. And usual strategy for around this place is medium, hard, hard, medium. Some people might want to start on the softs and go to the hards if they feel they can gain a few places. And as ever, the intermediates and the wet tyres are there if the rain graces us with its presence. We'll be going into qualifying in a moment, but first let me introduce my co-commentator for today. It is the great CM Punk. How are you doing, and you're looking forward to this race?
Good evening, lads. Hello, Joel. I am doing fine, thank you, and I am looking very much forward into the Grand Prix, as I did saw Tier 2 race last time 2 days ago, and it was absolutely splendid. Some rain coming down to give us some action, a lot of situation going on with strategy and calls, so this is definitely inviting us to have a wonderful race here tonight as well. At least that's what I'm hoping for, and especially looking at the fact that Tier 1 is just packed with stars and amazing riders all over the place. For example, we've got with us here tonight Justin Arts, who is a fan favorite based off of a couple of predictions to win this season's Tier 1 championship. He was on third place at the podium last time we have been racing in Tier 1 in Australia. That was back 2 seasons ago in season 13, and is definitely looking to make some noise around here, as well as many other famous drivers. So we'll see who's going to be the best. Of course, let's not forget Tunari, the man who won the last time Tier 1 was racing in Australia. So this is also going to be interesting. And yeah, let's see who's going to take pole in, etc. 16 minutes from now on the Australian track in the first qualifying session of this season in Tier 1.
Yep, indeed. And coming out onto the track now is the RB. Let's stop calling it Toro Rosso, because I've been saying that and that's completely wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I just
Um,
call it B carb or RB or whatever, because full
yeah,
name is just ugh. Full name is unacceptable. Absolutely not. Justin Ards, the man that we were just talking about as one of the favorites, has left the game for a short moment. Let's just hope it's just some quick and easy to deal with technical difficulty. Let's hope he will actually take part in the quali session, because this might be interesting. Keyboard Magnussen, you can see, is going to be one of the first guys to actually hit the time on this track. The pole position of last time we've been racing here in Tier 2 was 1:16.337. That was a time for pole position set by Lepson in the Williams. Let's see what Keyboard Magnussen in Haas can pull off as he rounds the last sector, the final corner of his first hot lap here in Australia, as he crosses the finish line, and he goes for 1:17.167. So far, of course, provisional pole position, but that's because everyone else is yet to make a time, and we have a couple of yellow flags, and the first invalidation from the Alpine of Noah Ilkorpi. I hope I pronounced this correct, because that's the first man to invalidate his quick lap time.
yep. And sorry about that, just changing some settings quick, which I forgot to do since I was racing, to make the stream a bit smoother. Let me know if there are any adjustments we need to the audio, because I haven't had time to test it. It should be all good. So yeah, setting the marker there is Tunari now at 15.9, and nice to see Danny, Damien and Justin in the chat. Justin, as ever, chatting whilst racing, although he is in the pits at the moment, but he might often send a comment out during the safety car, which is always entertaining. Makenda 15.9 matches Tunari. His teammate goes just over half a tenth quicker.
Yeah, Mercedes starting this qualifying very well. The times are already being better than the Tier 2 guys who are racing here. As I mentioned, the pole position was 1:16. 1:15 is the first time of Mercedes hot lap, so this just might get better, or perhaps this was just an amazing lap from Makander and Tunari. We'll wait to find out as the other drivers are rounding out their laps. The Kicksauber of Mdiska is rounding up the final corner, heading to the main straight to get some times, and the Rompostrat makes a very good time, only 53 hundredth off of pole position. And Funanana, the Red Bull driver, picks up a provisional pole with 1:15.805, the fastest lap so far from him, while Atom from Ferrari only makes a delta lap on a medium compound. We've also got a couple of times on the board, but they're mostly far away from them. And we can see spinning from Mdiska, who went off on his in-lap in Kicksauber, waiting for about 10 more people to give us times on the board. And Danny in the chat says that Justin might need a new invite. So if anybody from the race is listening, please give Justin a new invite. Let's not keep the D-man outside of the pack. Let's let him have a shot in the qualifying session, because just might be interesting. And as I say this, he leaves the game, and this must have mean that he will not take part in the qualifying session, because he's a gray, right? I mean, I don't think he's gonna have a chance in this quali session at this point.
Interesting. Yeah, a lot of names, well, not a lot, 2 or 3 names I haven't heard of before, haven't seen race before in SLR, including Funana. If I'm saying that, it's Funanana. No, that sounds too British. Funanana. Like banana, but Funana. Nah. Anyway, yeah, quite a few people I haven't heard of before. Interesting to see their pace. As the Red Bull driver, whatever his name is, has gone to P1, and now I'm watching Jari, who has come back from a layoff in SLR. He's back for this season, and it'll be interesting to see if he's as rapid as he was before, and if he is, he could very much challenge for a title, but we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Take you through this lap, just coming into the quick right-hander here, ever so slightly on the brakes there, but straight back on the throttle. You've got to be a bit careful, because it can throw you into the wall if you're not respectful of the curb there. And it says he's invalid on the mini-map, so that may be the end of this run for him, but he's still pushing.
Yeah, most likely this is it for him on this lap, while Touch or Tuge, I always keep forgetting how do you pronounce this guy's name, is heading for his finish line, and he does reach it going P8 in the Alpine, as we are awaiting a couple of more drivers to give us some times. Jammy goes P2 in Kicksauber, great lap from him, being only 0.086 away from Funa, who is still in provisional pole position. The Mercedes boys get dropped all the way to the second row, so now we await just a couple more drivers. Crowley boys still on out lap, Copy is still in the garage, Yari pits after failing his first quick lap, and Cologne is still in the pits. So far Funa is untouched by other drivers, but they're pretty close. The entire top 6 is very close to each other, so this might set us for a very interesting second quali run, and that final hot laps could be very interesting indeed.
Yeah, and Lipson says Funa versus Tuna. That's very true. Crawley voice is on the out lap, and that's the only active driver we have out on track at the moment. The others are just coming back to the pits or getting ready to start their second lap. Haven't put a time in yet as Crawley. Same with Copy, and Jari, after invalidating, has come back into the pits in the Haas. So yeah, interesting start to this quali. Atom in the Ferrari there has done his first lap on the medium tyre, so he's got good pace considering it's on the medium. We'll see when he does his lap on the softs, but let's follow Crawley boys, shall we? Into the first corner we go. Braking just after the black box, going down into 5th gear, straight back on the power. It's pretty forgiving with traction out of this corner. And now here, braking at the black box, down into 2nd if you need the extra rotation, 3rd, and here you've got to keep close to the inside curb and extend the exit as much as possible. This corner is flat out, even in the race it is. Maybe not in the first few laps. We've already discussed this corner, how you have to throw the car and trust that it will stick on the exit if you want to make up the most time. This is the new DRS zone, although I say new, it's been here for the last 2 years now. but new compared to the others. And into this chicane, which you shouldn't need any brake at all. Shift down to 7th, take a lot of curb on all the apexes and on the exit, and keeping it in 7th means you won't over rev the engine and spin out. That's an awkward braking point, because you really want to avoid that red curb. Like same here, it goes a little bit too deep, Crawley Voice, and he'll lose a couple of tenths here. But straight on the power, it looked like an overall quite a tidy lap, and we'll see where he comes. And he comes P13. Let's have a look at Copy as well, who's about to do his first legal lap.
Not the best lap. I got corrected by the chat. It looks like Jamie, but it is pronounced Jamie. So we're gonna have to keep that in mind. And now Copy. Ooh,
oh!
Copy getting thrown away while trying to do a hot lap. And
was he in 6th gear then?
Around.
Naughty, naughty. Should have been in 7th.
Thankfully,
I like how I'm telling Copy how to drive.
Yeah, exactly.
When I'm like 2 seconds slower. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so Copy is off his game as he spins around, thankfully avoiding some damage, so he still has a time. And while we say this, the second V-Carb car, who was just ahead of him, that was Meepo, has also spawned and went sideways, this time picking up some damage as there are some parts of the wing left on the grass next to the track. And of course he destroyed his lap time, but most importantly his cars, so Meepo's gonna have to get back into the paddock.
Jarry. Makenda crosses 15.4, Jarry crosses 15.5, so 2 times to top the leaderboard, and Tunari improves as well up to P3. So Funanana has been relegated into 4th position, but he is on a lap as well, and they'll all get one more in after this. Although saying that, there's only 6 minutes, and Funanana has only just started. He's in sector 2, so it might be a bit tight. Noah,
what a time.
as good as F1 as he is at GeoGuessr. He's one of those people that's good at everything he does. That's really annoying people.
Quite impressive, because this is almost a second faster than the pole position for Tier 2. We're closely getting in on this time. And look at the gaps between Makander, him, Yari, and I'm pretty sure Tenari, Rompostrat, Funa is also working on a better lap to improve and get closer towards the top. This might be one of the most tight qualifying session in a while. SLR Funa entering the pits very rapidly, braking just on the line, showing how much he's determined to make those laps count. As we are waiting some new times, Yari coming in, and now Tunari is working on his quick lap, so this might be a good one for him. Let's see what he's gonna show us. Entering the final sector, rounding up, heading to the final corner, and he abandons the lap, heading into the pits, so he's gonna have one more attempt. Who is also on a quick lap. Rompostrat has invalidated his lap time, so it's not going to count. Top boys, that's it for now. I don't
think anyone's on a lap now.
Yeah, every single man who is taking part in the qualifying session has made his time so far. Noah is still on provisional pole position, while Copy is sitting at the bottom of the board, and almost the entirety of top 10 could have a shot at least the front row, because gaps are so small. This might be a really good qualifying session.
And Noah just taking out the pit board marker, which is always fun. So yes.
Yeah, now we wait for somebody to hit us with the time. Icewind has invalidated his lap time. Atom from Ferrari is, I believe, on a quick lap. As
he's got 100% ERS, so...
Oh yeah, okay, so he's just beginning. Yeah, the ERS deployment was a topic of some talking point during inside the paddock, because a lot of people were complaining about the ERS deployment in this F1 game, as it is much more different, could be even much more difficult compared to the previous one. Some people say it's glitchy, some people say it's just more difficult. I have to admit, I didn't race a full-on distant race yet, but I have to admit that this ERS deployment system is much different compared to the previous game, at least from my experience. What do you say about this?
Well, yeah, it's got, 4 modes: none, medium, hot lap, and overtake. But one weird thing, which I think wasn't intentional by Codemasters and EA, is that in quali you can actually deploy overtake mode.
Yeah.
As well as being in hot lap. I don't know if it gives you any extra pace on the straights, because when I did it in Tier 2, it didn't seem to affect my lap time when I didn't do it. But it definitely
People are still
drains it
arguing
quicker.
about this. Yeah, people are arguing still about this, whether it's faster or not. But yeah, like you said, it definitely drains quicker. So there are still some experiments to be done. So the first couple of races, people might experiment with a couple of things, but at the end of the day, it's how good you are driving around the circuit determines how good you're going to finish. The ERS is just a cherry on top. I'm talking about the cherry. 3 minutes left in this qualifying session. Under those 3 minutes, we should be getting the knowledge of who's going to be standing on the pole position for the Australian Grand Prix, the first Grand Prix of 15th season in SLR in Tier 1, as the current pole sitter Noah is still in the pits, while McKender is already on an out lap, and Yuri is preparing his lap as well.
Yep, following him through the first sector, soon to be the second. He's been very tidy so far. We'll see when the sector split comes up. He's just about 2/10 over his time, so he's got a bit of work to do, and in fact he's invalidated at that same corner he did on his first lap. Maybe he'll have fuel to go again, but he's still deploying ERS, so I'm not sure. I think that might be his qualifying over. Yeah, another thing with the ERS is that I think it drains, or no, it regenerates too quickly. I think I've entered here whilst doing practice sector 3 at 50% before and gone down to none, and by the time I'm at the start finish line I'm back up to 100, which just seems far too quick for me. So it's sort of like you can almost expend half your battery on one lap and just get it back instantly. So that'll be something to watch during the race. McKender has started at lap 2. He'll be hoping he doesn't invalidate like Jarry.
Yeah, McKender, weird approach into this corner, not really giving a full throttle. During this lap, he's most likely gonna go for the next one, despite the fact that time is slowly running out, and there's a lot of traffic on the track. Almost every single driver is right now either doing a hot lap or is on an out lap. Not a lot of people left in the pits. Noah, the current pole sitter, is preparing his.
Yeah, Tunari invalidated that same corner again, so that's proving a difficult one to keep it on the track when you're pushing so hard. His teammate was in position for a bit of slipstream, but he invalidated, so it won't count for anything. Jamie, is he on a lap? He is. He's coming through that difficult corner, and he gets that spot on. Takes a bit too much curb, maybe, but he's still alive, and has his lap legal, and you can see him using the overtake button on the straights here as well, as he's already down to 30% ERS. But the thing here, as I said, in the final sector you gain so much ERS, even when you're on hot lap you don't lose much at all, so you can basically deploy almost all your ERS by this point and you won't lose much time as long as you've got some to use on the start finish straight. Deploying the overtake again. This year is flat out this right hander because of the grip that these cars have. A bit deep there again, but nicely on the throttle and rounds the final corner. I suggest this might be an improvement, maybe up to P6, P5. It's 2/10. P5, maybe I'm a psychic.
Yeah, now McKender beginning his final hot lap. So is the current pole sitter Noah, as he invalidated his beginning his hot lap. Is he gonna make it? Actually, I don't think he's gonna have a time to start a new one. McKender surely is trying to improve, and he is improving at this rate. If he keeps up the pace, McKender might challenge for a pole position, but so is Puna, currently on a hot lap. Noah enters the pits. He's not gonna improve anymore, so it's for McKender or Funa or Jamie to pick up. Jamie improves to go P5, but he's invalidated, so he's gonna finish in his position or less. Icewind gets disqualified from the session, while McKender is trying to find a pace to go for pole position. Funa is also on a hot lap.
Oh,
McKender going wide, but he's
that was
still
off track, so
in the track. I mean, the game says he's still on, and so he is.
well, he's not there as well, and
and he hit the
he's
barriers.
pushing the limit.
Is this gonna be enough? No, it's not. McKender
8
finishes
tenths
second, unless Funa can do something
says
about it.
3.4 seconds over. He's coming
no,
to the pits.
Funa is done entering the pits. So
Tuga
Noah is on
pits.
pole position for the Australian Grand Prix. McKender on the front row, Funa third, and Yari slides alongside him in the second row. Jamie P5, Tunari, Rompostrat, Touch, and Mitska and Meepo are the top 10. The bottom 10 are Atom, Poloin, Copy, Keyword Magnus, and Crowley. Left Terry's a lead, Tilde, Justin, and Icewind. Icewind, he wasn't in the session the whole time, was he? I didn't notice him too
Yes,
much.
he was. He was.
Was he?
Yeah.
Then why did he get disqualified? Because I was so confused, like,
No,
where did that
Icewind, it might be intentional.
Okay.
Yeah, so no formation lap, so we'll have to get the tyres on the start to once the start of the race has calmed down. But Makenda P2, and on pole is Noah, a fellow Finn in the Alpine, who sets the marker here in the first qualifying session of the season, and Funa, a lovely P3 there, very, very close between the top four, just over half a tenth. And on a track like this, with short lap times, that is to be expected, but it's still a very competitive leaderboard. Jamie, Tunari, Rompostrat, and of course Icewind and Justin, who had technical issues. They're going to be starting at the back, so they'll be trying to fight their way through to where they belong at the front.
Yeah, let's not count them out, because with the amount of safety cars in an average league race, they still might have a chance for a comeback. Maybe not to aim for a win, but surely for some strong points. I mean, a win is of course possible. In Formula 1, everything is possible. So let's hope for some good show. Like you mentioned, no formation laps, so we're going to be getting the green lights, and we're going to get away as soon as they go out. And now we just have to wait for all the drivers to get ready and start racing. The season 15 of SLR has just begun. Tier 1, first race of this season's fighting for the championship. The last time we've been racing in Melbourne was 2 seasons ago, season 13, and Tunari was the winner. Let's see what's going to happen today. Let's see who's going to be fighting for the win and who's going to win this battle.
Yeah, people will be starting on the mediums or the hards, but no time to discuss that. As the lights are on, all 5 of them, Noah on pole, and Funa gets an awful start. You can see him dropping like a fly there. It's Makenda, who was alongside but pulls in behind. It's Yari into P3, Jamie into P4. Tunari is trying to make up the positions further back. Look at Funa, who's all the way down. I can't even see where he is on the leaderboard. Oh, he's last! My word. And Atom up the inside of M-Disca, and he's not going to get that done. And the Alpine there, oh, that was very close to spinning out of Tuga up the inside of Atom. Luckily, he held on. It's all very close at the top. Only 3/10 separate the top 2. Further down the grid, we've got Meepo, Skoloin, and Keyboard Magnussen, who are all in a fierce battle. And look at this. Closing in is Makenda, who's going round the outside in the hairpin, and he's going to get it done and swoop into the lead of the Australian Grand Prix Tier 1. And Noah will surely be looking to have revenge pretty soon, as he's very close behind. Let's have a quick look at the tyres when we get a moment, although Meepo and Atom are fighting side by side, still side by side, with a McLaren of Skoloin as well.
Yeah, Meepo dropping 2 positions behind 2 opponents, and now we have a very close fight in the midfield as the top. Makender is trying to pull away from Noah. Makender sets the fastest lap, of course, and Crowley Voice is pitting early on. Must have been some kind of damage. While Tunari picks up the first penalty. Second lap, Tunari gets a free second time penalty. That's not gonna help him win the race at all. And the contact between Yari and Noah as Yari hits the back of the Alpine. They stay on the track and they keep racing. There wasn't too hard, but still very risky situation between the Haas and the Alpine in P3 and P2.
Yeah, Justin making his way up the field. He's tried to get past Magnussen there, but put up a good defence, so he's going to have to wait a little bit longer to try and get past the keyboard driver. And Makenda has been overtaken in exactly the same way he overtook Noah on the first lap. They exchanged positions yet again, so it's back to normal running as far as Noah is concerned.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of position swaps in the front. The driver who is leading doesn't have a DRS, so we're going to exchange this lead quite often in this race. While we have some attempts of fight in the midfield, there are a couple of drivers who are very close to each other. For example, Icewind is pushing very hard to overtake Justin while he's focusing on Keyboard Magnussen. It's a 3-man battle for P12 as they're racing close to each other. We also have close fight for P3, and the fastest laps are coming in. They're flooding in, and now we see Yari again getting closer towards, this time Makander is going to have to be careful because he already clipped the back of Alpine if he's going to try something like this one more time. This might
here
be
he
dangerous,
comes.
trying to sneak on the inside.
Oh, a lockup from Makenda. And Yari manages to swerve out the way. Remember, this is the first game, the F1 game we've had, where DRS will be enabled after the first lap. So that's why we're seeing so many position changes for the lead in the early laps of the race. It will be more difficult for the drivers to sprint away like they have in previous seasons, and it keeps everyone on their toes. Further back here, we've got Romperstrat, who's under pressure from the bright green Sauber, as Makenda overtakes Noah yet again in the same manner as he did before. That new DRS zone coming in handy for whoever's in P2 as they cross the line.
Yeah, absolutely, and Diska in, Kick Sauber has to be careful as Romperstrat doesn't want to give position. They made a small contact, not so small as they're trying to pull away, and the left front wheel of Romperstrat is gone. Safety
car, the first one of the season. It's sparking, his wheel is still sparking. Do you see that?
Yeah, huge lockup because
he's got no front wing now.
To ride him off the track, Max Verstappen style. He was like, "No, sir, you're not getting past me." Well, Romperstrat was, "Nah, I'm not gonna back it off," and they just totally came together.
Interesting strategy. All the medium runners are coming in and going to the hards. Do they think they can get to the end from here? It's possible, but will it be the quickest? Lefter is elite, is the only one I can see, along with Tilda, who has stayed out on the mediums. Jamie and Meepo have stayed out because they started on the hard tyres, so we'll see how this unfolds during the race. What about Noah? What happened to him? He's down in P7 because Tilda stayed out, so he's got a bit of traffic to get past before he can resume his battle with Makenda after the restart.
Yes, and Lefteris Elite has picked up 13 positions, of course, including all the pit stops, but still 13 places gained for the Aston Martin, currently in P3. Tilde picked up 11 positions, Copy picked up 9 places, he's running P4 now, while Funa, of course, lost 15 positions. I mean, he was starting at the top, and now he's down all the way to the very bottom. I think we missed what happened to Funa early on, as there was too much going on.
Yeah, he got a really bad start.
And the next time he was in the back, but what happened?
Yeah, I saw him get a really bad start. I don't know if it was wheel spin or just didn't react to the lights in time or didn't have enough revs, whatever it was. He was already dropping back, and something must have happened in the first corner because he was 2 seconds back out of the first corner. So probably a number of issues coming together there.
Yeah, most likely because, I mean, losing so much just had to be some kind of tragedy for the guys, so... Anyway, we got a new race leader for now. It is Jamie, who has stayed out and is leading the race, followed by Meepo and Lefteris Elite in P3s. So we're going to see which tactic is going to be more efficient. I don't think we're going to have any rain in this race, as long as I'm concerned. Oh, we have someone going a bit off the track. That was Haas. And I see that Atom has left the game. It is now his AI driving. There he goes, back into a lobby. So we're going. And Tenari with that 3-second time penalty very early on, it's totally not going to help his race. He's going to have a very hard time going through positions from P12 all the way up. Safety car is still on the track. We're still awaiting the... For Mdiska, for a serious collision with Magnussen, and he leaves the game. What was that about? What was that about? I mean, just... What was that? What was that supposed to be? No idea.
Sorry you missed that.
Yeah.
I just stopped the stream, reel it for like 2 seconds to up the bit rate and see if it would be fine. I mean... Ndiska has got a 10-second time penalty and he left the game, so yeah. Automatically retired because that's how real life works, obviously.
Absolutely. I'm going to have a safety car restart in this lap, and Jamie is going to be the one restarting us from the green light. So let's see where he's going to decide to go. Deep onto a throttle, everybody weaving to the side, getting those tires up into a temperature. We've got a lot of fresh hards, a couple of fresh mediums, but mostly fresh hards. Now let's see how long it's going to take the guys from the midfield who were leading the race before the safety car to get back up into a leading positions, if they can even do that, because we cannot take away the possibility that they might hold on to their positions in the top. As we go racing, Jamie is putting the throttle deep and he's going on as Meepo is chasing him down. Icewind in the meantime gets a 10-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. Must have been racing while we still weren't racing until they get the 3 seconds for track limits as well, as Jamie holds his lead and is followed by his opponents. Now we can see that Noah, the man who started on the first place, and Justin gets also a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. What is going on right now?
Smells like a glitch to me.
Right now. Yeah, I mean, I have a safety car icon in the left corner. Maybe this is
yes,
the case.
I do.
Oh my god, if this is the case,
so you can't overtake.
10 seconds. Oh my god, if everyone's gonna get a 10-second.
Well, McKenda's overtaken Copy. Let's see what's gonna happen
but
here.
He's not getting a penalty. I mean, surely Justin penalty would take it away if it's a glitch, most likely. In the meantime, Noah, the man who started the race as leader, is now trying to get back up into P5 after he made a move up into P6, looking to find a way past this V-carb of Copy down the inside. A bit diving, a bit of contact, and Copy almost went out, but he somehow kept it on the track. Well, Noah gains the position, is now under pressure from Jari. Jari down the inside now, regaining the position back up into P5. Noah going round the outside, beautiful switch, and he regains the position.
Look at the slide from Jari.
Racing. Yeah, and a slide from Jari. Nice racing from those two, as Noah gets up into P5 and now keeps his eyes focused on McKender right ahead of him.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on Tugga, who is under pressure from Skoloin as well. Worth noting that Tunari went on to the mediums instead of the hards like his other competitors.
Yeah, and other penalties are just coming in. Someone asked why they're racing when it's a safety car. Well, it's not a safety car anymore, it's just EA being EA. As in the meantime, McKender's trying to win P3 for himself against Lefteris Elite, and he's gonna do it quite easily as he picks up the position. The DRS is now back up into P3, hunting down Meepo already, while Jari is just not giving up anything for Noah, regains the position again. These two are going at it, and it's absolutely lovely battle, but Jari has a penalty, so either has to force Noah into a mistake or just try to pull away as much as possible. As of right now, he can't really do this with the DRS being open and Noah being right behind him. There's not too much space to pull away, while Jamie is building small gap over Meepo, but if Meepo gets the DRS, he will easily decrease this gap. And Taj is now looking for a chance to fight Copy for P7, but he's not going to be quick enough down the main straight.
Yeah, all very close in the midfield still, as we're a few laps into the restart of this race, as McKenna does get past his fellow countryman of Meepo, and he's up to P2, so a really good charge back for McKenna. And don't forget, he might be able to go to the end of the race, so he's in a commanding position at the moment, but he still has to get past Jamie, and he's closing in very quickly.
Yeah, McKenna is on the hot run right now. As we speak, he's looking for an overtake on Jamie for the lead of the race. Jamie can't do too much in this scenario. McKenna is absolutely flying right now, gets an overtake done, and we have a new leader of the Australian Grand Prix, as McKenna is back into a lead now, winning it from Jamie. And we have plenty of fight in the midfield as well, because right now Jari picks up position for P4, while Noah is still in P6, but it's not going to take long as he goes down the inside of Aston Martin and picks up a position to go up P5. I'm looking at the penalties, and it's absolutely wild. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers with the 3-second time penalties, and 2 drivers with 10-second time penalties. Of course, some of them might be taken away by the FIA, but a lot of them will stay till the end of the race, and that's going to be a huge possible mistake. McKenna, in the meantime, picks up the fastest lap of the race so far.
Yeah, Icewind looking to cut through the field. He goes up the inside of Copy and goes onto the grass. Noah gets the penalty as well, so he's not going to be immune from the corner cutting shenanigans going on. And look at the Red Bull of Justin, who's weaving around in the smoke of the car who is locked up ahead of him, and he's got into a bit of a tangle with Copy, who's off the road. And meanwhile, Tunari managed to slip through all of that on his fresh medium tyres. He's back up into the top 10 and looking to make some inroads And Meepo, all the while, is looking to get past Jamie and follow Makenda.
Yeah, at the same time we can see a fight breaking out between Noah and Lefteris again, because Noah regains the position back up into P6 while Lefteris Elite is still under pressure from Icewind. This time the Ferrari looking for his way past the opposition, goes down the inside, makes a move. Oh, and there was a bit of slip up from Tunari, but he keeps it on the track and already wants to overtake the Aston Martin of him. Lefteris Elite is dropping a lot of places recently. He's gonna lose another one most likely, as it seems Tunari going round the outside makes an overtake. Behind him, Justin Arts is following his racing line, is also gonna gain a position on the Aston Martin, who keeps dropping positions rapidly. And Keyboard Magnussen picks up a position to go up into P12.
Yeah, good progress being made from the Red Bull, who started right at the back of the grid. He's now up into 9th position. And Icewind looking to get past Noah. Maybe does Noah have damage because he's just been overtaken in a flash, and now it's Tunari who's got past him. He does. He's got right end plate damage. Noah, who was leading the race and started on pole position, is now in a difficult position, being overtaken left, right and centre. It's Justin who gets past now too. Surely he's got a pit.
In the inside between the two, and he's gonna make a pass. Great move from the Red Bull between Tunari and Noah. Nice move from the Red Bull driver, and like you mentioned, Noah definitely has a damage. Look at how slow he's going right now. The Aston Martin, who dropped a couple of places, is now trying to attack him while he's under pressure from Scalowin in a McLaren, but it's a long train ahead of these guys, and Tunari is looking to put a fight against Justin Ards, but so far they are just supporting each other a bit, trying to get closer to the opposition ahead of them, while Makender is still in the lead, but Jamie is still on his tail, not letting him go so far, as Meepo continues his campaign for P3, but then again, remember, some of those guys will still have to make a pit stop.
Yep. And Scoloin gets past the Aston Martin. Tilda with a penalty. Yeah. And it's all very close here in midfield still. There's a bit of a gap forming between Icewind and Tuga, but behind Icewind you've got 4 or 5 cars very close together. And
yeah, and Funa hits a penalty. And I was looking at Crowley Voice, who just spawned, went sideways, hits the wall, losing a bit of wing. Yes. Is this gonna be a possibility?
Oh, they finally got rid of the safety car notice. And
yeah, finally.
Justin is past Icewind now, so hopefully he'll be thinking he can close that gap of 2.6 seconds up to P5 and get himself into an unlikely top 5 without even half the race being completed.
Yes, and Tunari is looking for his way past the Ferrari of Icewind, as he knows he has to follow Justin. Justin is on the pace right now, so he wants to stick it up behind the Red Bull to keep following him, while Ferrari is currently behind him, so Tunari will most likely think about overtaking him while he gets a chance. And in the meantime, Jamie drops to P3 in the favor of a V-Carb of Meepo. Gets up into P2, and Touch gets P4. I thought he was going right now, and we got some pit stops as the Aston Martin of Lefteris Elite comes into the pits to make a stop, and so is Crowley Voice.
Just listening to how the in the pit.
Okay, retirement in the pits. Yeah.
Just listening there to the new sound, the broadcast mode, audio mix, or whatever they call it. Sounds like real F1 a bit, just we're not as good as Brundle and Crofty. Well, we're better than Brundle, not as good as Crofty.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Slow there from Justin out the chicane.
Car.
Do we actually?
Safety car.
Oh yeah, that's why he's slowed down.
But this time it's not a glitch. But the question is why though, because nobody has retired. There is a part of a wing on the track. The question is who is the imposter behind it, because I can see McLaren of Scalowin doesn't have a front wing at all.
Meepo pits, Jamie pits.
Yeah.
All these guys who didn't pit off the hards now have the perfect opportunity to get back into sync with everyone else.
Scalowin is giving a free pit stop to everybody as the McLaren driver loses his entire front wing and gives a free pit stop to everybody who needed this one. It's gonna be a lap for those guys. I'm counting all the penalties, and I'm sure that by the end of the race, we're going to have more penalties than half of the grid. I mean, at this point, you got so many penalties. Icewind picking up another one as we're speaking right now. Absolute pandemonium here in Australia. We've got 3 seconds, 6 seconds, 10 seconds, even 13 seconds from Icewind. So it is absolutely ridiculous when it comes to the penalties around here. And as the things stay right now, despite McKender finishing P5 on the finish line, he would win the Australian Grand Prix. This is just to point out the amount of penalties in this race. I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah, worth pointing out how well Keyboard Magnussen is doing, although he hasn't pit, so he's up into P8, but he is without a penalty, so he could get a nice result here today.
Yes, the safety car keeps on rolling. Let's take a look at the tire situation. The top 4 at the moment stays on used hard tire compound. They're on 9 laps old hards, while everybody from P5, excluding Keyboard Magnussen, all the way to P11 are on fresh mediums. Keyboard Magnussen is also on used hards, so is Atom from Ferrari and Funa from Red Bull. Everybody else is on fresh mediums, except for Tilde, who is on fresh hards. Everybody else on his compound. Crowley has left the lobby as he's not racing with us anymore. 16 drivers remaining in this Grand Prix. 19 has started in it. Lap number 13 out of 29 behind the safety car.
Yeah, not even halfway yet, but it feels like a lot has happened. Noah will be happy about this safety car. He's back into the race somewhat with fresh medium tyres, which he can take to the end of the race. And already inside the top 10 with just 3 seconds. And as you said, most of the guys that don't have penalties yet will most probably receive one before the end of the race. So good chance for him to get a respectable result after a poor start.
Yes, and Funa makes a pit stop appearance to pick up the fresh soft compound tires. Well, are they going to go to the finish line? Most likely not. I mean, I don't know what is the plan here for the Red Bull, but he's in a bad spot anyway, so why not just risk it? Let's take a look at the situation when it comes to gaining and losing positions. Justin and Icewind being the biggest winners so far, both picking up 15 places from the race start, while the biggest loser when it comes to losing positions so far is the Red Bull of Funa. 13 positions have been dropped by this driver so far after mistakes early on. And safety car will be coming in this lap, so we're finally gonna get back to racing. And Tudge will be the one restarting from the safety car, with Yari being behind him. He was a ghost for a second, must have been a mistake because he's back already. So let's see how he's gonna approach this one. Jamie restarted, I believe, on the main straight. Is he gonna do the same thing like the Kick Sauber driver? Is he gonna start a bit earlier on? The Alpine driver going for the restart, not weaving too much, getting some focus done. And let's see what he's gonna do right now. Still slowly approaching the corner. Getting a bit more comfortable on the throttle, but still not going full deep into it. And there he goes into the corner, heading full throttle deep, and we're racing again in Australia as Tudge leads, but Yari gets a good start on him, trying to get jump into the lead. The Haas driver, he's not going to do it just yet, but it's a good pace from him. McKender goes up into P4 ahead of Icewind already, and is stalking Justin Arts. While in the back, we also have some overtakes. Atom drops position to the McLaren of Skaloim, and Meepo picks up P5. So Icewind dropping second position. He's going off. He's going to get back on the track. Yes, he is. Nice save from Icewind. He's going to drop down a position, but it's worth it because he might have been out of the race. So that's a good save from Icewind.
Yeah, Yari getting very close under braking to Tugger. Just managed to keep it out the back of the Alpine. McKender making a charge, who's on the back of Justin now on the old hards that he hasn't pit from. On his fresh medium, and there's a bit of a battle going up here as well because everyone in the top 3 is almost included by under 7/10 of a second. As here comes McKender.
For McKender? No, not really. Not quite yet. He was looking for it, but not yet. And behind Makander is Meepo as well, so he has to be careful on both sides, from the front and from the back, as Makander looking for a way past his opponent from Red Bull, but the V-Carb right behind him is also putting him under a bit of pressure. Makander doesn't care at all. He wants to find the place to go up into P4. Sorry, P3. Can't do it quite yet. DRS is now enabled. We're still not having some overtakes in here, while Justin is now looking to go around the Haas, blocks him. Jari does not let Justin through. Justin trying to switch now for the second racing line. He can't find enough space or pace to overtake the Haas, but he definitely has the pace, just needs to find enough momentum to get the overtake done while Makander is following him through. There's very small gaps between the whole of the top 6, yeah, because there's Tunari also getting closer, so maybe top 7 is very close to each other, and Makander finally finds enough space to make a move up into P3, right ahead of Justin. Now gonna try to focus on Jari.
Yeah, he's only left with 10% ERS though, so had to push hard to get past Justin. And now Meepo is having a go at the Red Bull, and he gets past 2. He's got to be careful here, Justin, because Jamie, Tunari and Noah all behind, not too far away, on fresher and softer compound of tyres.
Here comes Makander around the outside on the Haas, and he gets the position up into P2. He goes, trying to stay on it, while Jari goes down the inside into turn 1. Noah the fastest lap, and Makander, off the track, 3-second time penalty for Mercedes, so plenty of penalties up in the top, and as of right now, despite all the penalties, Meepo and Jamie just became a favorite to win this GP. That is under the condition that they will not get a penalty, which is nothing to be sure. And then again, let's remind you guys that the safety car is not currently on the track. It's just EA being EA, as always is. Yeah, extremely close and very exciting to watch as Meepo is trying to make the most of this opportunity. He might actually have a good run here because he's got DRS. They all have DRS. In fact, and Meepo nearly punts Makander into the wall. He's still trying his best as they come through the chicane onto the back straight. And with 36% ERS for Meepo, he's in the best position out of all of these 3 drivers ahead of him. Tuga with 50% sitting pretty. Jari almost going sideways again, saving it from the tragedy, but they're just so much on the edge, so close to getting completely off the track. Jari almost went sideways, but somehow saved it. Now Makander is gonna use these mistakes. Jari is slipping again on the way out of the corner. Makander is gonna try to use it, but Jari is so quick on the long straight. He's gonna save himself and protect his P2 at the moment, while Meepo and Jamie are still going at it. The kick Sauber is looking to find a way past the V-Carb. Left, right, no space, and Makander goes up into P2 contact, but he still keeps it on the tracks. Koloin is retiring in the pit lane while they're still going at it, and Makander gets the P2, but Jari is definitely not gonna give it up so easily, as the Haas driver is still stalking him, trying to find a way past him for P2, while behind him, here comes Meepo, the V-Carb on mediums, looking for a way past the Haas, and he's most likely gonna do it right alongside his left side, and he does go through, but look at those guys go inside.
Jari up the inside! Oh my days, this is lucky! How lucky is he there? He got overtaken by Jamie, but I think he'll be happy just to be alive. And look at this, the top 10, all the way down to Icewind, the top 9, all in one picture on the, I don't know what I'm saying, but, you know, all in one frame.
Yeah, they're so close together. The gaps between the top 9 are minimum, but the penalties are keep getting applied. The only drivers in the points without the penalties are Meepo, Jamie, and Copy. Think about that. And now Jamie picks up a penalty, so does Meepo. This is insane. Copy, being P10, still has a shot for a podium. This is insane. What is going on in Australia? Why is everybody picking up penalties? As Makander is now leading, and he was nowhere to be found in the fight for the win with all these penalties, but now with everybody having a penalty in the top, he might just win this race. With Touch being second, Meepo is looking for a way past Touch up into P2, but the V-Carb is not quick enough on the long straight. While behind him, Jamie is picking up some speed, maybe looking for a way past him in this corner. Can he do it? No, he's going to back it off. Gonna play it safe for now. And Yari dropped all the way already down to P8 as Icewind picks up his another 3-second time penalty. That comes down to 16-second time penalty for Icewind. Jesus.
Yeah, the only 3 cars left now who have not got a penalty. One is Copy, who's just been overtaken. But keeping an eye on this battle for the lead, McKenna looks between getting away. Tugger is somewhat holding up the rest of the field on his hard tyres. And Meepo chucking it into the first corner. He's gained so much ERS in the third sector, as I mentioned earlier, but he's not using it yet.
Still saving it maybe for a bit later on, as Makander is so far having about 50% of a battery, Meepo about 60 to 70, so he might just save it for a last showdown against Touch and Makander. Everybody in the top 5 is now fighting for the win, and they all have pretty good chance of winning this race. Absolute scenes in Tier 1 with 10 laps to go, and who's gonna win this race we're about to find out in couple of minutes as we see attack for P3 from Meepo attacking Touch. He goes up into P2 while Touch was trying to find a way past Makander. He dropped position now. Jamie also looking for a way past Touch down the inside, and he does find it. The kick Sauber comes up into P3 as Touch just dropped 2 places in 1 lap, while Tinari is right behind him looking for his way past the opposition, but is gonna have to wait a bit longer. But it is looking like most likely Tinari is going to pick up position. Good exit from the corner, right behind the Alpine. Moves alongside him to the right. Gets on the inside. Not enough speed down the main straight. And he's going to have to back it up now. It's a bit of pressure.
I was going to say, Makenda's... Tinari's going to overtake here. But what about Makenda and how he's being closed in? Although that gap is going to extend now because Meepo is under pressure, and Jamie in the bright green car, the Sauber, has got past and he's back up to P2. Can he make
Jamie's
a challenge?
Turning his elbows, absolutely pushing away his opposition, and there's a beautiful fight between him and Meepo. Puts him up into a P2, and he's now getting closer towards Makander, who is not safe in this race just about yet. Yellow flags in the back caused by McLaren. It's gonna call for a safety car. This is a huge one.
That is ridiculous.
How's
that caused the safety car? And the safety car is glitching on the minimap.
Tilde also doesn't have a wing, so it's a second McLaren race without a front wing.
What do you do now if you're Tugger or Justin? Or Jerry?
No idea, absolutely, because realistically, how many laps we're gonna have of racing? 5, 4,
I think you have
6,
to pit
no idea,
the softs,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, staying out is too risky.
I mean, everyone at the top is pitting anyway, so easy decision.
Yeah, if this would have been like lap 25, you can consider staying out, but not.
Don't be speeding.
Oh!
You get a 10-second now instead of 5.
Oh my goodness. So,
and
penalties.
Jamie has been held up, and yeah, look at that. Jamie has been held up. He's still ahead of Meepo. And Tunari and Noah have a buffer in the form of Makenda on those hards, who is looking to hold up the rest of the field.
Yeah, and you know who's the biggest winner right now because of this safety car? Copy. Look at the guy. He's P9, but he's gonna be right behind everybody with the penalties. So if he just prays to God that the top 8 all stay in one straight line and he will finish behind those guys, he will basically win the race. If this is gonna happen, it's gonna be amazing. I don't think anyone in SLR won the race from P9. I mean, would be insane to think about this. It's gonna be difficult, but it's not impossible. Also, Justin Ards, P10 at the moment, but then
because
again,
he had a 10-second. He had a 10-second penalty for the illegal overtake, didn't he? He served that in the pits now. So
yeah.
He's penalty free.
Yeah, so he's finally back into racing without a penalty, which can't be said about the entirety of the top 8 in this race. And from the bottom, Icewind and Tilde, they all are suffering from the penalties. The record so far is Taj with 13, but Icewind took away his 10 seconds because he had 16 before the pit stops. Lap 23 is about to begin under the safety car. We're going to keep on going underneath it for a while. We're going to have only a couple of laps remaining all the way to the finish line, despite the fact everybody has a penalty in the top 5, the 3 seconds. They have to keep their eyes open to not pick up any more. Touch goes into a pit lane, most likely to get rid of the 10 seconds. And to have only 3 on his account. That is a smart move. I mean, why not just take a risk at this point and just drop a couple of places to get rid of the penalties. So everybody in the top 7 has some sort of penalty, whether it's a 3 second or 6 seconds. Everybody has a penalty from the top 7. That is incredible.
I wonder what McKenda's strategy is going to be here, because it's going to be difficult to defend from these faster guys behind.
At this point, all he has to do is just not get another penalty, because I can feel that most of the guys from the top 7, they're not done picking up those penalties. So if he just stays out of trouble, focuses on keeping the car in the track white lines, he's going to be safe and sound. But then again, we have a difference of the different tires and pace. I mean, fresh softs for Jamie, fresh softs for Yari, fresh mediums for Miko, and then the 10 laps old hards for McKender. Definitely it's going to be a tough situation for him, but then again, in Australia, a lot of things can happen. So let's see which way he's going to go. And by the way, Atom, he's on 19 laps old hard used tires. Jesus. Safety car is in this lap, and now Tunari will be the one restarting the race from the safety car. We're going to be racing from lap 24 all the way down to 29, so a couple of laps remaining in the first race of the 15th season of Slipstream League Racing. Tunari, the man who won the Grand Prix in season 13, the last time Tier 1 visited Australia, is standing in a chance of winning it again, but it's going to be a very difficult task. A lot of quick drivers on fresh tires right behind him. Is he going to survive all this ongoing warfare? Everybody behind him going left to right, trying to keep the tires in the right temperature. And Tunari is going from the corner. Is he? Yes, he is. Oh, a bit of slide from Tunari. Not going to help him at all, as Noah, the man who started from pole position, is now trying to sneak himself on the inside. Not enough pace on that car, and people on fresh tires are starting to put it to work. Jamie trying to find a way past McKender, already up into P3. McKender is going to the left, not allowing him to make a move. Switches to the inside.
Oh!
Jamie dives on McKender. He makes the move, does he? Not quite yet.
He's going to have the grip. He's going to have more than enough grip to go on the inside here. And now look at Meepo.
Oh, McKender off the track, completely losing it, going down all the way to P6.
There goes Jarry as well. Yeah. And next on his radar will be the Aston Martin just behind him.
Oh yeah, we have a question to show the penalties, because
yes,
it's going to be important to the finish line to see who got what kind of penalty, because this may change all rapidly as Jamie is trying to find his pace to go up into P2. He's most likely going to do it in a minute. Not quite yet in this corner. Trying to make a switch back on the inside of the Alpine of Noah. Noah defending so far, following Tunari as they're about to enter lap 25.
Oh, Meepo!
Contact. Meepo pushing hard on Jamie. Jamie keeping it on the track, mostly thanks to Noah, because he got rammed right into the Alpine. That helps him to keep on the track, but what a fight. And now Jamie has to focus, calm down, and think about somehow getting back up against Noah to pick up the P2, switching to the inside, just like he did with McKender, going down the inside of Noah, and he picks up another position. Jamie is on fire right now, looking like a favorite to win this GP. A bit of clipping, and there's Yari going very wide, trying to pick up position on this as well. What is going on in this fight for the top 5? Absolute scenes as Meepo regains P4 from Yari, and Jamie starts to snitching up behind Tunari, trying to creep up on him. Can he get the position? Yes, he does. Jamie is now leading the Australian Grand Prix with a couple of laps to go.
Yeah, and you have to think that the decision not to pit as Tunari picks up another penalty is going to hurt him here. on those mediums, and now Meepo is going to swoop around the outside. Interesting factor to keep in mind towards the last 2 laps. Meepo is on the mediums. Will they become quicker at the end of the race as the rest are on softs? The softs do wear out pretty quick here, but it's whether Jamie can build the gap in time, as Yari is now overtaking Makenda, or trying to, around the outside of turn 1, which would be an audacious move, and because of the changing grip, he would have got it done, but he's got onto the grass.
Justin bouncing off the wall, but getting position in the same time. What a maneuver from the Red Bull as Yari is trying to fight back. He can't find enough space, but Justin with an overtake of the day. After bouncing off the wall, he picks up position on Yari. Amazing stuff as Icewind picks up another 3-second time penalty, and Jamie is not building the gap at all.
Meepo.
They do build the gap above Tunari.
Meepo's going to overtake here. He's got DRS, he's got a great chance. He may not find himself in another position like this. He's got to make the most of it.
Jamie backs it off, thankfully, but that's going to throw him off a bit. Meepo played that very well. He was very brave in this corner, not giving anything there. And Jamie tried to scare him off, but he just didn't allow himself to be scared and keeps on going with now leading the Australian Grand Prix at lap 26, entering lap 27.
Oh!
It's gonna be Meepo against Justin.
Left her! I saw him go off. It's another safety car. We're going to have a final lap shootout.
Oh my goodness. What is going on in this race? And that's basically
the hard runners pit.
For Tunari and Makenda as they're heading into the pits.
Yeah, well, they're going to double stack.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Now, what's happening with Copy? He still has no penalties. Same with Keyboard Madison. And Justin! There's only going to be 1 lap left. Justin on the slower tyres. But with 1 lap, he's got no penalties. And maybe those ahead are going to fight to the death. Could Justin still win this from last place? In fact, no, he has got fresh mediums. He's still on 5-lap mediums. He can definitely win this from last place. It could be Justin, Keyboard Madison and Copy on the podium. That would be incredible.
I mean, this is exactly what we said before the race, that you cannot count anybody from the race, no matter which position he's starting, because it is a league race and a lot of stuff can happen. This is one of the races where a lot is happening. Noah in a very difficult spot, sitting at P3, but on the worst possible tire compound. He's going to have to pit. Atom is also on 23-lap-old hards. He's going to have to make a pit stop if he wants to finish the race at all.
Oh, we're going to have more than 1 lap.
So it's going to be 2 laps of racing. So no pit stop for Noah. This is awful for the Alpine, as he has nothing left to defend with.
Yeah, he did have the chance as he went past the pit lane. It's probably the right decision to stay out, considering how little laps are left.
Yeah, but he's going to lose a lot of position, I can tell you that already. And now all eyes are locked in on Justin Ards, the Red Bull driver, who was a favorite by the fans to win this season's Tier 1 championship. Started the race from all the way in the back, and he just might finish it right up on the front. Meepo is going to be restarting the safety car, but Justin is now on the eyes of everybody else. Can he win it with 2 laps of racing to go?
Yeah, it's still in Meepo and Jamie's hands though. If they get out in front and build a 3-second gap, no one can challenge them. Let's see what happens as, look at this, Justin already has overtaken Noah, and that's as quick a start as you will ever get, as he has to actually give the place back, I believe, because he overtook before the start-finish line, but he's back in front now, and Yari gets past Noah again. Noah, as you predicted and rightly said, losing a lot of positions. Jamie's tyres are going to be an interesting position here. Has he managed to keep them fresh? Or will Meepo, who's already almost got a 1-second gap, can he build a 3-second gap and guarantee himself the win? So crucial now that they don't pick up any more penalties, because that will be race over.
Yeah, absolutely. And Justin is basically racing against himself at this point in time. He's in the perfect spot. He doesn't have to do anything more than he's already doing. He just can't allow himself to pick up a penalty. If he gets the race done clear with no penalties, he will win as the things stay right now.
Jamie,
despite Yari trying to put him under pressure.
Is Jamie going to take the lead? He's just going to stay behind for now. I think he realises they have to work together if they want to be on the first 2 spots of the podium, and Jamie perhaps in the last lap coming up will make a run for glory.
Yeah, not too much they can do till they picks up a 3-second time penalty. I mean, not too much Meepo and Jamie can do right now as Justin is just on fire. He's got the pace. He doesn't have a penalties. DRS is enabled. Icewind comes into the pit lane to retire. And it's a final lap of the race with Justin sitting at 1.2 behind the race leaders, both of them having a penalty. So it's surely a win for Justin if he stays out of trouble. If he doesn't pick up a penalty or makes another silly mistake, he's gonna win this race starting all the way from the back. And despite Copy being P8, he still will gain a lot of positions due to the penalty. So this might be an interesting finish. And we're gonna see who's gonna finish where on the podium as Justin Ards is looking to pick up his first win in SLR Season 15 of Tier 1. If everything's gonna go according to his plan, Meepo and Jamie, just fighting for the position, they have to fight for P2, and Jamie makes a nice move together, and
Meepo's still alive. Keep going, son. Keep going.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he will keep going, but that is a position lost. And he's gonna defend from Justin, but it doesn't matter anymore, as despite the fact Jamie will cross the line first, and Meepo right behind him, it is Justin Ards, who is now coming in from the final quarters of the Australian Grand Prix, and he wins the chaotic season opener. The Red Bull of Justin Ards begins the season championship campaign by a win. And the podium, what it's gonna look like, Jamie's gonna safe and sound secure his P2, Meepo on P3,
P5.
and Copy goes up to P5 due to the penalties being applied. What a season opener.
Yeah, and the defending champion, Justin, from last to first in the first race of the first season on F1 24. Driver of the day, obviously. We cannot disagree with that. P20 to P1. Thank you very much. See you next week, he says.
Oh, okay, I'm back. Internet connection issues. But yeah, we are wrapped up with the Australian Grand Prix as Justin wins it, Jamie finishes second, and Meepo finishes third. On the podium, and yeah, driver of the day is quite obvious in this one. Are we gonna have any kind of interviews here tonight, or are all the drivers just gonna celebrate the season opener after the first race? That is the question. We're gonna wait a bit to find out how is this gonna unfold. Anyway, great season opener. Absolutely lovely stuff from every driver on the grid. A lot of drama, a lot of racing, a lot of interesting fight, tactic wise and on track as well. So great season opener. And we just hope that it's gonna only get better from this point on, and the next race, that is gonna be round 2, it's gonna get even better. And the man of the hour, the race winner, Justin Arts, is in the booth. So let's bring him in for an interview. Hello, Justin.
Hello.
So, first race of the season, last to first. I mean, piece of cake, right? For you, I mean, yeah, silly.
Sure.
Sure. I mean, come on. How? Like, starting last, all this carnage, and how do you even feel about this race? Because if I were you, I'd be exhausted to hell.
I was, yes. Because especially after getting front wing damage lap 1, and then for some reason the game never fixing it. Um, yeah, not fun. And constant ERS pushing as well meant I was never over 40% ERS. So every straight, sometimes I get mugged off, and safety car restarts, not being able to warm up tires, and it's just overall just pain.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole race was a carnage. You were able to stay out of trouble penalty wise because everybody picked up at some kind of penalty here or there, and you just kept the whole race on the track. Did you practice a lot before the race? Were you like practicing the track limits? Because a lot of people struggled with the limits today.
To be honest, no. I only did maybe 2 race laps, but I did pick up on penalties being very easy to catch, especially after the hit the long back DRS zone in Sector 2 because there's like a weird bump in the track that like kind of shoves you left once you go over it. So went off track there a lot. But I also did get a time penalty with the safety car restart because there was like a bugged lapped car or something. I'm not sure what that was. And then I had to serve that 10 seconds in the pits, so that was another stir in the pot, as they say. So yeah, just grateful I only got one warning the entire race.
Yeah,
I
so you
mean,
could
2
get that
laps of
removed
practice.
and to have the boasting
Yeah.
rights of winning the race by over 10 seconds.
True.
Jesus. Oh my god. So, Joel, you have any more questions to our race winner?
Will you teach me?
Sure.
There we go. Yes, so perfect start to defending your title. And next week, I'm sure it'll be more of the same in Hungary. Although you may not be able to overtake 20 cars in Hungary like you did today.
Yeah, I hope I can actually qualify though this time.
You don't need to.
My man, was he? I hope so.
All right. So, thank you for your time, Justin. Congratulations on winning the race and surprise, surprise, getting a driver of the day. No one saw that coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time spent with us and good luck on your next endeavors. Hungary. How do you feel about Hungary, by the way, next week?
Well, it was one of the tracks that was they had to do TT laps on for I think WR sign up, so I guess I'm somewhat warmed up. But race pace, I have no idea. And I mean, even after today, I have no idea what race pace is like of anyone because always fighting people, you just never get to scope out the field. So looking forward to next week.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so thank you again, and we'll see you next time, Justin, on the track and off the track, hopefully, as well.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, bye. All right, and that's gonna be a wrap of the opener of season 15 of Slipstream League Racing in Tier 1. As we finish the Australian Grand Prix, make sure to tune in for the next week endeavors as we head into Europe to Hungary with both of our tiers, Tier 2 and Tier 1. So, Joel, what else do you have to say to the viewers before we say goodnight?
Usual stuff, I guess. Like, subscribe, check out the Twitter and the TikTok and the new Instagram as well. And make sure you're here next week because that was a fantastic race. Probably one of the best that I've commentated on. Extremely exciting, lots of overtakes, and hope for more of the same next week.
Absolutely. So, thank you for your time. My name was CM Punk. My co host was, of course, Joel.
Yep. Hello. Oh, I mean, bye. I mean, don't say hello at the end.
Hello and bye and good night, everybody. See you next week.